Game 2 of the Double Dip here from Athens, Ohio, live from Bob Wren Stadium. It's a Mid-American Conference showdown between the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Ohio Bobcats. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Daniel Barnard. I'm joined by Ben Hamilton. And Ben, Ohio dropped Game 1 of this doubleheader here this morning to a Central Michigan team that has struggled so far this year. What did you notice from that game from Ohio, and what did you notice that they can improve upon here in Game 2 to get them back in the W column?
Just on the offensive side of the ball, eliminate the double play ball, and also executing the small ball. They really did that well against Kent State last week, if I'm not mistaken. So if they're able to execute their small ball game and avoid the double play ball game, then I definitely believe that they can beat Central Michigan.
Yeah, you talked about the small ball, Ben. They were outstanding last weekend in that Kent State series. I was on the call for a couple of those games with Sam Hyman, and they were dropping down bunts left and right. They were running the bases really well, too. They got a lot of stolen bases in that one, very aggressive in that series. I didn't see it as much in Game 1 here when I was watching, but that's also in part because they didn't get many guys on base, just 3 base hits in that game. They really struggled at the plate. And another thing worth noting right there, in their struggles at the plate, Gideon Ansel 0 for 4 in Game 1. That snaps his 17-game hitting streak.
Wow.
Coming into today. He had reached base safely via the hit 17 straight games. That is now over. He'll look to start from square one. In Central Michigan, it's worth noting, they are the home team this weekend. This series was originally supposed to take place in Mount Pleasant, Michigan at Central Michigan, but a snowstorm moved through the area there, moved the series here to Bob Wren. They stay the home team, so Ohio will bat first as they did in Game 1. And with that, Central Michigan has taken the field behind Keegan Baca. Keegan coming into today, he's appeared 6 times on the season. He's 1-5 coming into the ball game, so he has struggled quite a bit here early, looking to have a bounce back day against the Bobcats. And behind him, it'll be Mikey Murphy, Jake Brill, and Jacob Donahue left to right in the outfield, and on the infield, Ellie Stewart at third, Bryson Webb at shortstop, Elijah Henning at second base, Danny Wustenfeld at first base, and behind the plate, calling the pitches for Baca, it'll be Drew Stengren. That is your defensive alignment for the Chippewas in their white-on-white home uniforms. The Bobcats getting set to bat here in the top half of the first in their green jerseys on gray pants. Their batting lineup is as follows. Paulie Mancino in the leadoff spot again this weekend. About 2 weeks now straight of games that he's been in that leadoff spot, and he's really embraced it. J.R. Nelson, Gideon Ansel, A.J. Roush, Bryce Smith, Nick Dolan, Jackson Cothran, Taylor Gill, and Billy Adams. Those are your 9 for the Bobcats. We are set for baseball. Keegan Baca toes the rubber. He kicks and deals, and we are underway. First pitch shot into right field by Mancino. That ball is going, and it is going to be just foul. It had home run distance, Ben, but just barely sliced to the right of that foul pole. No balls and 1 strike.
And one thing about playing in the Wren, the ball really carries. It may be a big ballpark, 405 dead center field, and the gaps is 380, and down the lines is 340. But one thing about this ballpark, and I've actually played in this ballpark at one point, the ball really carries here.
Yeah, former Ohio baseball player yourself, now up in the booth with us. The 0-1 looked like a slider, stayed outside, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Paulie Mancino, in Game 1, he was 0 for 4, hitless, did not reach base, no walks, no hit by pitches, 1 strikeout for him.
And it seems to be like one thing about this Central Michigan defense is that if you could take out the core players that is in the lineup, you're able to take them down pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Paulie Mancino, another foul ball off to the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Baca on the mound looking to get off and running here early. Here's the 1-2. That one right down Broadway. Sets down Pauly Mancino looking on strikes for the first out of the ball game. That'll bring up J.R. Nelson. He was one of 3 Bobcats to have a base hit in game 1. Just 1 for 4, though. No player in Ohio's lineup had multi-hits. Or had a multi-hit game, I should say. JR stepping in now. Looks at that first pitch, stays low and away, ball 1. Ohio coming into today, their last MAC series last weekend against Kent State, the preseason favorites to win the MAC. And they took 2 out of 3 from the Golden Flashes here on their home field. Nice pitch right there from Baca across for a strike, evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Kent State is a very solid program, too.
Absolutely. They came in here and dropped the first 2 games. They lost Saturdays via a walk-off from Pauly Mancino. He was the one that hit the walk-off, but then they dropped those first 2 games, came back out on Sunday, and just absolutely ran right through the Bobcats, winning 22-4 in 7 innings. It was a rough one on Sunday, but in baseball, every game is just worth 1, and that's what the Bobcats have to look at when it comes to that series. This ball chopped on the ground to short, up with it on to first. Short throw, but picked out
nice
cleanly by Danny Wustenfeld, 2 away. Bryson Webb, the shortstop, coming up with that one. And he's feeling good after that play. 2 away here in the top of inning number 1. Game 1 of this doubleheader. Obviously, Central Michigan taking that one. They won 6-1. RBI single late in the ball game. Gideon Ansel at the plate. He drops down a bunt. That's a good bunt. Up with it onto first, and it's not in time. Throws it into right field, did Baca. Gideon is going to take second. A big turn. He's going to hold there. A 2-out bunt single advancing on the throwing error. You don't see the bunt with 2 outs a lot, Ben, but Gideon able to get it down. A surprise bunt right there, and it worked to perfection.
One thing about Gideon Ansel is that he is definitely the guy to really execute plays and get things started for the offense.
Well, that he did right here. Hitless in game number 1, but he's on the board here in game number 2.
Way to come back to start from square one of your hitting streak again.
Yeah, absolutely. Back up to 1. A.J. Roush at the plate. He'll be playing left field today. Looks at strike number 1. Runner in scoring position here with 2 men down in the top of the first for the Bobcats. Fastball stays away.
And as I previously stated in the beginning of this game, implementing and executing the small ball, and that's exactly what Gideon Ansel did, and got himself in scoring position with a great hitter up to bat.
A.J. Roush swings through that one. Behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Will the small ball play dividends here in the top of the first inning for the Bobcats? A.J. Roush looking for some 2-out magic. Baca delivers the 1-2. Popped up into the air. That one slicing towards right center field. Coming on is the center fielder all the way over into the right field position. Jake Brill
showing off some range there.
Makes the grab, showing off the range indeed. Bobcats go down scoreless in the top half of the first. When we return, Tim Knapschafer takes the mound for Ohio. Tim Napshafer on the mound for Game 2 of this doubleheader here this afternoon. A chilly afternoon in that, but the sun is shining, and Tim Napshafer looks to shine here in this one. He comes in to this ball game with a 5.89 ERA. He has started just one game, but he's appeared 5 times, including last weekend, his first pitch. Off the outside corner, ball 1, Bryson Webb stepping up to the plate to lead things off for the Chippewas. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Last time out for Napshafer, it was his first start on the season, and he faced off against those Golden Flashes, Kent State, who came in here. They roughed him up a little bit. They scored 6 times on him, 5 earned runs, though, through 4 innings. But that was that Saturday game in which the Bobcats were able to walk it off late. 2 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning that propelled them to the victory, and Napshafer quickly back even in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes, looking for a better outcome for himself here today, and he gets him looking. The backdoor slider frozen at the plate. Bryson Webb goes down early. That'll bring up Jacob Donahue to the plate.
One thing about that slider from Tim, yeah, that's very disgusting. I've actually faced him before during the off season, so that's one pitch that you would hate to see, especially for a strikeout pitch.
Yeah, what's a big thing that you've taken away from facing Tim? Is that one of his best pitches that you would say that you saw?
That is one of his best pitches, and he executes that very well.
Well, he did so right there. Backdoor had Webb frozen. Jacob Donahue at the plate, as I said. Now, he had 3 hits in game number 1. The Chippewas had 13 total. He was one of 4 Chippewas to have multiple hits in that one. That one stays low out of the zone. It'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Tim Napshafer on the hill, the 2-2. On the ground towards third. Up with it cleanly on to first in time. They got him. Nice play right there from Nick Dolan.
And one thing about Nick, he will execute plays.
He is a very sharp third baseman. It has been a rather rough year in the field for the Bobcats. They come in at the bottom of the Mid-American Conference in terms of fielding percentage, but last weekend, Ben, they had a bounce-back weekend, a very solid defensive weekend for them. Looking to continue that here into this weekend, and they've done so here to start things. Now stepping up to the plate, Danny Wustenfeld. He looks at that pitch, just missing apparently.
Yeah, and one thing about baseball, you have to have defense. That's how you earn your way of playing on the field, and also staying consistent with the offensive side of the part too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about balance and picking each other up. When one guy makes a mistake in the field, you got to keep him up. Next play mentality. This one flared down the right field line. It'll get out of play, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wustenfeld. Central Michigan coming into today, Ben, lost 14 of their last 15 ball games.
Wow.
This one on the ground, up the middle into center field, base hit.
Single.
So Danny Wustenfeld not having any of that 14 of the last 15 nonsense. He gets the Chippewas on the base pass here early with 2 away. Both teams now, it was Gideon Ansel with the bunt single with 2 outs in the top half of the inning. Now Wustenfeld with a single in the bottom half of the inning and 2 outs. Now that keeps the inning alive here for Spencer Verberg. Verberg, the designated hitter here today, looks at strike number 1. But yeah, as I was saying, they dropped 14 of their last 15 games, now 14 of their last 16, considering that they took game 1 here this afternoon. That one shot foul down the first base line. It has been a rough go of things to start the year, but they've only played 3 games on their home field so far this year. They have not had the comfort of their home.
And there is no place like home.
Absolutely not. They've played a lot of games down in Texas, where you're from.
Yes.
Big Rangers fan, walked in with that Rangers hat on. Celebrated their first World Series last year, looking to go back-to-back.
And they're looking pretty good during spring training as well.
Absolutely. Well, that pitch at the top of the zone swung on and missed, strike 3.
Hot cheddar.
Tim Knapschafer through 1 scoreless, and we are through 1 scoreless. We'll head to the top half of inning number 2. Stay with us from Bob Wren Stadium. Top half of inning number 2 here from Athens in game number 2. Bryce Smith will step to the plate for the Bobcats, the first baseman here this afternoon. Facing Keegan Botka back out on the mound. He's adjusting something out there. Not sure what he's fiddling with on the mound, but he appears ready to go here in just a second. Botka in the first inning. Just 1 hit. That was the bunt single from Gideon Ansel. He struck out 1. Only 10 pitches. So efficient with that pitch count through the first 4 hitters in the order for the Bobcats.
And while he's still adjusting, the weather here in Athens, Ohio is 45 degrees. Sunny conditions will continue for the rest of the day. And wind gusts up to 24 miles an hour.
Yeah, that wind is kicking here today, but
yes,
it is sunny. And as I said right before, or during the break, as Bryce Smith lifts one into right field, coming on quickly, the right fielder, he'll make the grab. 1 away. That was Jacob Donahue making the catch there. So 1 pitch and 1 out. But I was saying during the break, you keep that sun out there, I'll keep my mouth shut. Once those clouds start to roll in, that's when it gets brutal. But hey, the sun is shining in Athens today, so I won't complain too much. Nick Dolan stepping up to the plate, third baseman for the Bobcats. Made a nice play in the bottom half of the first. Looks at strike number 1 there.
Flashing the leather on the defensive side.
Yes,
and
sir.
let's see how he's going to get things started for the Bobcats offensively.
He's been very solid in the field so far this year for the Bobcats.
One thing about Nick Dolan, I had some discussions with him before I actually walked on the team, and it was almost like we were teammates off the field before we were teammates on the field.
It's always great to develop those relationships with your teammates, especially off the field. It's like a brotherhood. I'm sure that you can attest to that.
And I definitely look at him as a brother too.
Well, he's dealing here with a 1-ball-and-2 strike count, trying to battle his way out of this one. Botka trying to set down Dolan. The pitch is popped up. That'll get out of play foul, so Dolan will live to see another one.
And one thing about Nick Dolan, he will fight to stay alive in the at-bat, looking to get some things started for the offense.
If nothing else, battle, drive that pitch count up, see as many pitches as you can, kind of relay some of that information to your teammates on deck in the dugout. Tell them what you're seeing.
And how they do that is, if you ever
This
notice,
one's driven
oh my
into left
goodness.
field. Left fielder ranging over. He's not going to get there. It's going to drop foul, though. That wind blowing left to right. We can look out and see the flags may have kept that one in the ballpark right there, but Dolan lives to see another one.
Yes. Had that wind never been blowing at all,
It looked good off the bat.
Not a doubt he would have sent that to the parking lot.
Had a good launch angle on that one. Maybe just a little bit under it, though. But Dolan fighting nonetheless.
Looking to get some things started here for the offensive side of the Bobcats.
Here's the 1-2. Slider in there, called strike 3. Nasty breaking ball right there from Keegan Baca. He's got his second strikeout of the ball game. Both of them looking, and that will bring Jackson Cothran to the plate.
That was a very disgusting slider.
He's got the off speed working here early. The first pitch to Cothran.
Fastball in the outer part of the plate.
Called strike 1. Baca with the 0-1. Off speed, looked like the big bender right there. A 12-6 curve. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stayed a little low and away.
And I know if I was a lefty, I would hate to see something like that. The easiest pitch to hit is a fastball.
And he got the fastball, and he drives it into right field. That one is high, that one is deep, and that one is gone. On to the softball field. Jackson Cothran drives it out of here, and the Bobcats lead 1-0.
And it looks like that the wind blowing to the right side had went very well in his favor.
Absolutely.
And got some things started for the Ohio Bobcats, and they draw first blood here today, Game 2 against Central Michigan.
Well, you were talking about how the easiest pitch to hit, not that there are any easy pitches to hit, but the easiest one to hit is the fastball. He got that one.
And he did not miss.
On the inner third of the plate, and as you said, did not miss. Now squaring to bunt, Taylor Gill, the designated hitter, he pulls back out of the zone, 1 ball, no strikes.
And having some momentum going towards their way, in this situation right here, it wouldn't be a bad idea to lay down a bunt. Get some more runs going for you.
He squares again. That one out of the zone again, though. 2 balls and no strikes. Back in that first inning, Gideon Ansel dropped one down with 2 outs. So, the Bobcats aren't afraid to do it. Something that you traditionally don't see, bunting with 2 outs. Gill swings away, though. Pops that one out of play foul. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, when you have players that know how to execute very well, they will definitely make that decision without a second thought.
Trying to jumpstart this offense any way you can. Cothran did his job. Now it's up to Gill. And Gill, the 2-1. He swings away. On the ground to second. Fielded cleanly. On to first. And that retires the side. Nice play from Elijah Henning to end the frame. But Jackson Cothran gets the Bobcats on the board with a big blast onto the softball field. We'll be back in the bottom half of the second inning. Can the Chippewas respond? Stay with us. Jackson Cothran, a solo shot in the top half of the inning to get the Bobcats on the board, his second of the year, and he left no doubt in that one. He's behind the plate here this afternoon, catching Tim Knapschafer back out on the mound for his second inning of work behind 1 ball and no strikes. Mikey Murphy at the plate, just low 2-0.
And it seemed to be, if you look out there in right field there, the flag is blown to the right side, and Cothran that took advantage of where the wind was blowing.
He certainly did. He parked that one in left field of the softball field. But Mikey Murphy now trying to do some damage himself. He drives this one high in the air to right field. Coming on, Paulie Mancino. He'll make the grab. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
And it seems to be that this inning right here, just for some momentum happening on offense, it's getting the defense straight here for the Bobcats here. So I'm looking forward to seeing them win this game here.
On the ground to second, a high chopper up with it on to first, easy. A couple of pitches and a couple of outs for Tim Knapschafer. And as you said, the fielding pretty good here to start for the Bobcats. That was Billy Adams getting the start here in Game 2 on that play out there at second base.
That's Billy out there?
That's Billy out there. Alex Finney getting Game 2 off. Finney started game number 1. The traditional second baseman for the Bobcats. But now we got Drew Stengren at the plate, the catcher for the Chippewas, looking to do what his counterpart Cothran did with 2 outs. And he drives this one shallow right field. Going out is Adams, coming in is Mancino. It's going to fall in no man's land. Mancino gets it back into first base, which drives Stengren back to the bag quickly. But a 2-out flare right there. And the Chippewas have some life here in the second.
And it looked to be that Billy was trying to catch that ball. But with a fast right fielder like Polly, some communication needs to be implemented.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, the runner that's on first, he found a way to get on base.
That'll bring Jake Brill up to the plate. Center fielder today for the Chippewas. And I apologize, that's Elijah Henning over at first base for Central Michigan. Not Stengren. Stengren grounded out to Billy Adams. It just all happened so quickly. I lost track there for a second.
That's what happens whenever you play great defense.
Absolutely. So Elijah Henning at first, Jake Brill at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Stays upstairs just across the letters. Brill able to leave it up there. Ellie Stewart stands on deck. He's the 9-hole hitter for Central Michigan before they flip their lineup over for the first time here today. Knapschafer trying to make sure that doesn't happen here in the second. Here's the 1-2. Late on the swing, but he fouls it off.
He seems to be taking an approach that he wants to take it the other way.
A lot of these Chippewa batters at the plate so far today, driving the ball the other way.
And the right side is what's caused the most damage in my experience of playing, especially if the wind is blowing towards the right side.
As it is here today, spinning a throw back in safely is Henning.
But Cothran, he definitely took advantage of taking it to the right side and had a solo shot that puts Ohio on top, and that's a hit batter.
Yeah, that off speed stayed a little too far inside and clipped the inside shoulder. That would be the left shoulder of Jake Brill. So he works his way on base here with 2 away. So a couple of guys reaching here with 2 outs in the bottom half of the second, and that'll bring up Ellie Stewart to the plate. Ellie, the 3rd best batting average on the team, or I apologize, he's one of the top hitters, though he started all 21 games so far for the Chippewas with a .257 batting average.
And looking to try to scratch a run across for Central Michigan.
Looking at my sheet, and he's a third player listed. And he pops this one out of play. That'll get foul. Third baseman for Central Michigan.
And Nav Shaper is getting on top of the pitch count very early, or should I say the batter's count pretty early.
He has been. He's able to been working ahead in the counts here pretty well early on. It's one thing that I've noticed as well. This one lined up the middle. Ansel coming on. It's going to hang up in time. Gideon Ansel sliding to his feet, makes the grab, and strands 2 runners on base here in the second. We will head to the third. Let's see if Ohio can tack on. Stay with us. Top half of inning number 3. The Bobcats lead it 1-0. Keegan Baca back out onto the mound for his third inning of work. He'll be faced by Billy Adams. Getting the start here today. Looks at strike number 1 there on the outside corner of the plate. Adams getting Alex Finney in off game, I should say. Finney played earlier today, so not an off day for Finney, but just playing one out of these 2 games. He should be available off the bench late in the game if head coach Craig Moore goes to him.
Just a fresh pair of legs. You know, want to make sure that your starter, or should I say your senior veteran leader, you know, you want to make sure that he is tip-top shape in every game that he plays, especially the ones that lead up to MAC championships. And that is a nice liner to right center field. And he gets things started for the Ohio Bobcats here in the offensive side of the ball.
There you go, Billy Adams driving the ball the other way. Billy coming into the game, he's struggled so far this year, just a 143 batting average over his first 28 at-bats. But that'll help the average out a little bit right there. Get it going in the right direction, and he starts things off here strong for the Bobcats in the third. That flips the lineup over, and Pauly comes to the plate. He drops down a bunt. That gets right back to Keegan on the mound. He fields it, but throws it low. Stays in the dirt at first base. Wustenfeld not able to dig it out. And there are runners on first and second with nobody down here in the top of the third for the Bobcats.
Wow. So, again, like I was saying, you know, executing the small ball play. I mean, you got somebody who's very consistent with driving the ball to the right side and was able to get himself in scoring position. And then now up to bat is
J.R. Nelson coming up to bat. And you said early, Ben, want to look to cut down on the double plays. The Bobcats trying to do so with small ball. J.R. Nelson grounded out to shortstop his first time around. So he's looking for a different result here. We saw the bunt show right there. He showed bunt, pulled it back. And he shows here again. Corners crashing in, but he misses. Whiffs on the bunt attempt right there. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike on JR. He's had a very strong season at the plate himself, Ben. 369 average coming into the ball game here today. Squares the bunt again. This time he gets it down on the ground to third, on to first in time. JR didn't even move at the plate. Interesting. Are they going to say...
Was it foul or...
I'm not sure how that could have been foul, but JR appears to be walking back. Yeah.
Dugout. Well, if that's the case, hey, I mean, you moved the runners across, so...
Did get the job done. He squared the bunt, and the goal with that there is to move the runners up and over. He did just that. I think it ran in pretty far on him, may have caught him by surprise. I don't know if maybe he thought it hit his hand.
I don't know.
The Central Michigan head coach out to have a few words with the home plate umpire. And we're getting word that ball may have hit off the foot of JR. That might be why. That explains greatly why he just stopped in his tracks.
Yeah.
And if it did go off his foot, that's a foul ball.
Yeah.
So in that case, it would be a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and everybody would go back. But as it stands right now, Paulie Mancino stands on second. Billy Adams stands at third.
They got a dangerous hitter.
With one man down, and Gideon Ansel is going to step up to the plate. And it looks like that ruling is going to stand. So one away, runners on second and third for the Bobcats. A big opportunity to extend their lead.
And what better way to have things of an opportunity executed, none other than Gideon Ansel.
The pitch to Ansel. He drills it to deep left field.
Oh my
that
God.
ball is down off the wall. Fair ball, 2 runs are going to score. Gideon Ansel strides into second base safely. A 2 RBI double, and the Bobcats lead 3-0.
Wow. And what a great way to have some momentum going towards your side. A base hit from Billy Adams to get himself in scoring position. Nice execution bunt by Paulie Mancino.
First pitch here, a called strike to A.J. Roush at the plate. But yeah, those 2 runs set up beautifully by the sacrifice bunt of J.R. Nelson.
Yes.
And this one's on the ground to short. Ansel's going to retreat to second base, on to first. With it goes Bryson Webb. There, 2 away. Heads up base running out there from Gideon Ansel, not trying to run into an out between second and third. So that'll bring up Bryce Smith now. He flew out as well to end inning number 1. He looks at that one. It hits off the glove of the catcher Stengren, and able to advance up to third base safely goes Gideon Ansel. The Bobcats with a runner 90 feet away and 2 down. A base hit, pass ball, balk, anything scores that runner from third.
Yes. And that is something that you definitely would like to have, especially considering the fact that the momentum is going towards your way. A lefty.
And this one is poked into the air left side. That's dropping foul. Sliced just a little bit too much off the bat of Smith, so Ansel will head back to third after he hands the bat back to Smith, who walks back to the plate.
That ball from my angle seemed to look like that was just going to drop just perfectly fair.
Really did.
That really would have. Oh, my goodness. You talk
really,
about momentum.
Yeah. Any way you can do it. Just got to find some outfield grass. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it if it falls. Here's the pitch to Smith. That one stays off the outside corner. Good eye.
And that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea to pitch outside, considering the fact that the wind is blowing to the right side. And in baseball, in the game of baseball, most of your damage happens from hits going to the right side.
Smith lines one into right field. Is that going to fall? It is. Bryce Smith, a little flare into right field that drops for an RBI single, and the Bobcats are out in front 4-0 here early.
Way to jump on them early offensive side of the ball. And now up to the dish is number 1, Nick Dolan.
Yeah, Nick Dolan coming to the plate. He struck out looking his first time around, so looking to turn around his fortunes at the plate.
Looking to pass the torch.
He squares the bunt, pulls back. Outside, ball 1. Seeing a lot of bunt attempts here from the Bobcats early. Small ball, as we talked about early on. They haven't attempted to steal any bases yet, but I can only imagine it's a matter of time before we see that. Dolan off the end of the bat, fouled back to the screen. Evens it up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that's one thing I've really noticed about this Bobcat offense is that they're not really scared to square with 2 outs.
Not at all. It's become part of their identity at the plate. There's the pitch. That one low and away, off speed. Misses the mark. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that is one thing that head coach Craig Moore really implies to their players. Make that a part of your game. Make the small ball a part of your game. That's how you win games.
Spinning a throw back to first base, just keeping Smith honest over there. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 men down here in the top of the 3rd. Dolan at the plate, watches that one sail high. 3 balls and 1 strike. And waiting on deck, Jackson Cothran. He did some damage to a baseball not long ago. Solo home run his first time around. Dolan fouls it straight back to the screen. I think if there's no net here, I might have been able to caught that one up here in the booth.
Yes.
Right back here to us.
Nick Dolan is looking to stay alive and to continue to add on the resume here.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner goes. This one popped up on the infield. The sun playing a factor, but they're able to retire the side. Elijah Henning getting under that one, shielding the sun well. And that ends the top half of the 3rd. But the Bobcats get 3, all with 2 away. We'll head to the bottom half of inning number 3. Stay with us on Ohio Bobcat TV. Bottom half of the 3rd inning here from Bob Wren Stadium. The Bobcats gave themselves some cushion in the top half. They scored 3 for Tim Knapschafer back out on the mound. His 3rd inning of work. 2 efficient innings in the books for him. No runs so far given up. Just 2 hits, 2 strikeouts though. And the order has flipped for the first time for the Chippewas. Bryson Webb stepping back up to the plate. So 1, 2, 3 due up in the order here for Central Michigan, trying to get something going.
And the offensive side of the Bobcats, they really got some things going for themselves in that half inning.
Absolutely did. A lot of hits to the opposite field. This one on the ground. Knapschafer fields his position extraordinarily.
PFP, baby. PFP.
PFP indeed. Tim Knapschafer does it himself. One away. That one a comebacker right at him. A one-hopper. Well, he just stuck the glove up and found something.
The Bobcats really practiced that a lot, especially not only within their practice script, but also a lot outside of their practice script as well.
Well, now it'll be Jacob Donahue stepping up to the plate. He grounded out to Nick Dolan at third base in the first inning.
It's 45 degrees out here in Athens, Ohio. Sunny conditions will continue for the rest of the day. Wind gusts up to 24 miles an hour. It's sunny outside, but once the sun goes down and the wind picks up, it can get pretty brutal. And I am from the South. I'm from Texas. I don't like the cold very too much.
That went in there for a called strike on Donahue. You walked in here earlier today. You're like, I mean, is it bad that I'm starting to get used to this cold? That one runs in and hits the back of Donahue. Second hit batter today for Knapschafer. And the Chippewas have a man on with one away.
Yeah, so if you're the Ohio Bobcat defense, what you don't want to do is give up freebies. You don't want to give up too many free passes here, especially, when you have a lead up 4-0, because you always want to make sure that you stay on top.
Now Woostenfeld at the plate. He pops this one into shallow right center field. Paulie Mancino under it. He'll make the grab. 2 away here in the third inning. That'll bring up Spencer Verberg for the Chippewas. He struck out his first time around. That ended the first inning for Central Michigan at the plate. Now he looks to extend it with 2 away. Spinning a throwback. Knapschafer keeping close tabs on Donahue over there. Four runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Bobcats. That one stays inside. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the Chippewas. We're in the bottom of inning number 3, game 2 of the doubleheader. There's the pitch. That one looked like it had a little bit of break to it.
Yeah.
Fouled back to the screen.
It looked like his slider. I mean, he executes that pitch very well.
That's a hard slider.
Yes. Sharp and some very, very good bite.
Runner goes. Little hesitation on the throw from Cawthron. He wasn't able to get a handle on it. And swiping second base, Jacob Donahue. Now a runner in scoring position with 2 men down. Good opportunity for Verberg at the plate to get a run across. Try to scratch into this lead, and that one hits him.
Oh, he looks to be down.
Yeah, he dropped to the ground, but he's back up quickly and
sprints up to first base.
He'll give a hard 90 down to first base. So a couple of hit batters here in the inning for Knapschafer. That's his 3rd on the day. And now there's 2 men down and 2 men on.
Tim Brown looks to have a bit of dialogue with Knapschafer and Cawthron. Probably telling him, just settle down a little bit. You're up 4-0, and you want to hold on to that lead against Central Michigan.
And you can also look at this as somewhat of a classy move from Brown, too. Coming out of the dugout, give Verberg down there at first some time, kind of shake that off a little bit. But, yeah, you're right. Kind of go out there, settle his guy down on the mound. Just throw strikes. That's all we need you to do out here. You got 8 guys, or I should say 7 guys behind you. Obviously, you got Cawthron behind the plate. You got 7 guys behind you that can field their position very well. Just let them do the work for you. You don't got to strike everybody out. Just throw strikes and let the rest fall where it may. That one runs inside dangerously close to Mikey Murphy at the plate. Knapschafer flirting with loading the bases on 3 hit by pitches. 1 ball, no strikes. And that one stays inside as well. 2-0. Really seems like Tim is trying to get that inside part of the plate to his advantage. That one on the inner third, but it's popped up. Bryce Smith working in foul ground up against the wall, just out of his reach, beyond that foul, that wall over there.
And since the wind was kind of blowing over to the right side, that ball seemed to be carrying more to the right side.
May have pushed it just a little bit. On a normal condition type of day, maybe a little less wind, that one, like you said, might stay in the yard for Smith to end the inning. Mm-hmm. This one in on the hands, fouled back towards us. Evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Definitely want to throw a strike here, just let your defense work and get you out of the inning. And they continue to rack on your 4-0 lead.
Here's the 2-2. On the ground, up the middle, diving out of the outstretched reach of J.R. Nelson into center field for a base hit. 1 run is going to score, and up to third goes Spencer Verberg. The Chippewas are on the board with an RBI single for Mikey Murphy. It's 4-1 Ohio. Nice piece of 2-strike hitting right there from Murphy. Took what Nap Schaefer gave him and drove it right back up the middle. Almost an outstanding play from J.R. Nelson. Went to the ground for that one. Just out of his reach. Now runners on the corners and 2 away. Nap Schaefer bounces that one at the plate. Drew Stengren steps up now. He grounded out to Billy Adams at second base his first time around. Spinning a throw. Back in just in time.
And it also looked like that base hit almost hit the umpire, too. He had to
It
hustle to get out the way.
It almost did. That field umpire positioned just to the left of the second base bag at the time of the hit. Another throw back. He almost came off the bag right there. He left his feet completely on that dive. Pete Rose style. Went back in safely. Keeping a close eye on Mikey Murphy. Another throw over. Nap Schaefer worried about the runner at first. The throw back from Bryce Smith, and Nap Schaefer wasn't able to catch it cleanly, but stayed right there next to him.
I wonder if the runner at the first base, if he has a reputation of stealing bases.
Well, that's obviously Murphy over there, and he goes. The throw down to second, not in time. He slides in safely.
Well, I guess he does.
A little off the line, or offline, I should say. Throw right there from Cothran to the right of the second base bag. Now runners on second and third with 2 away. A base hit makes it a 1-run game, and it's up the middle. Base hit hard into the outfield. Getting the wave around third. Here comes Murphy, and it's a 1-run ball game. A 2 RBI single from Drew Stengren, and it's 4-3 Ohio. Couple of RBI singles in the inning for the Chippewas, both of them right back up the middle. And that stolen base right there for Mikey Murphy gets him around to score with 2 away.
Very smart base running by him, too.
First pitch in for a strike to Elijah Henning. He singled his first time around as well.
And looking to add on to the Chippewas offense.
That one stays low. To answer your question about Mikey Murphy maybe having a reputation of stealing bags, that was only his second stolen base on the season. So
really?
He was quick, though. He definitely quick getting down the line, and that one stays inside, and it hits Henning. Another hit by pitch for Tim Nap Schaefer on the mound. The wheels are falling off here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Cawthron gonna head out there to have a visit with his pitcher, try to get out of this inning before it really escalates.
Yeah, I mean, because you only have 2 outs, you just need to just throw some strikes, or throw some, or just miss the barrels. That's just your number one job as a pitcher, not to necessarily miss bats, but just to miss barrels. Especially, you were up 4-0. You don't want to just give away the league like that. And that's one thing that really hurts defenses the most is freebies.
Absolutely. The Bobcats staff has struggled a little bit with free passes this season. They were better last weekend against Kent State, but so far here today, Napshafer struggling quite a bit. He has not surrendered a walk yet, but that's 4 hit batters on the afternoon. This one on the ground to third. Dolan fields it cleanly on the short hop. On to first. Nice play, retires the side. Well, the Chippewas get 3 back. Both sides score 3 in the third. We'll head to the 4th. Ohio leads 4-3. Stay with us on Ohio Bobcat TV. Top half of inning number 4 set to get going. Daniel Barnard alongside Ben Hamilton. And we got the third person of our crew joining us, Ellie Metzler, our sideline reporter. Ellie, what do you got down from the field?
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, Cawthorn's second home run of his season definitely boosted the mood in the dugout and gave the Bobcats a lot more confidence. They scored 2 more runs in the second inning, and I think Gideon Antle was really feeling that heat and that confidence. He had that incredible hit that gave him a double, and he got the confidence to steal third base.
Well, absolutely. That's great work down there from the dugout, Ellie. Thank you so much. Jackson Cawthron at the plate right now as she was talking about a solo home run back in the second inning, and as she noted, his second of the season. He's off to a fast start here in game number 2. He chops this one on the ground, fielded on the hop by the first baseman, Wustenfeld, and there is one away. So Cawthron not able to follow up his home run in the second inning with a hit here, but he should have a couple more at-bats before this one's all said and done. That'll bring Taylor Gill to the plate. He grounded out to second base his first time around. And the first pitch is popped into the air. The sun playing a factor here. The third baseman able to make the play, though. Ellie Stewart battling off the sun and makes the grab. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Keegan Botka looking to make quick work of the Bobcats here in a bounce-back inning.
Yeah, one thing about the sun, too, at Bob Ward Stadium, it can get pretty brutal to your eyes. So that was a good heads up right there by the shortstop, to make sure that his third baseman secures the ball.
Absolutely, Ben. I've been out there a couple of times in the afternoon, and when you look up and that sun sets behind the first base line, so when you're looking in from that left side of the field, whether it be left field, third base, shortstop, it is right in your eyes. It is tough. Just goes to show how solid these players are in the field with all the experience they have, able to fight off anything that might be in their way.
Yes.
Right now at the plate for the Bobcats, Billy Adams. He singled and scored his first time around. He swings at that one. I think he got a piece of it. Stays alive at the plate.
Well, he had a piece of that slider. I mean, that slider right there, especially, thrown in, a 1-2, 2-2, or 3-2 count, that's more of a strikeout pitch. Normally, if it starts out low, I would say let it go because those are typically the disgusting ones that look like the swing and the miss.
Absolutely. Comes back with the fastball there, stays upstairs, evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Billy Adams up the bat. Billy may not have a lot of power, but one thing he does have is a lot of heart and discipline at the plate. And he got things started for the offensive side of the Bobcats here today that caused them to have a 4-3 lead.
He showed that determination in the last inning. That was the top half of the third that he led off. Looking now to keep the top of the fourth alive. 2 outs. Trying to flip the lineup over before this frame ends. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3. A great bounce back inning for Keegan Baca on the mound. He holds the Bobcats scoreless, and the Chippewas come back up with a chance to tie or even take the lead. 4-3, Bobcats lead. Stay with us. Ellie Stewart set to lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning here from Bob Wren Stadium. Tim Knapschafer back out on the mound looking to have a bounce back inning. He gave up 3 runs last inning, and he has been hit, ironically, by the hit by pitch bug. He has hit 4 batters so far this afternoon, trying to cut down on that number as he continues this outing. His first pitch off the outside corner, 1 ball, no strikes. Ellie Stewart's first time around flew out to center field, and now he chops this one slowly on the ground towards third. Is Dolan going to try to let it go foul? He did try, but it just stays inside the line fair.
Wow. So an infield hit single.
A swinging bunt, some might say, from Ellie Stewart. Gets the job done.
I've had a couple of those in my career.
Hey, any way you can get yourself on base. As I said earlier, doesn't matter how hard you hit, it's going to show up the same way in the box score at the end of things as a single. So now the top of the order for the Chippewas, spinning a throw back. Bryson Webb stepping up to the plate. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. He hit the comebacker to Knapschafer. Now he squares to bunt, and he hits it foul.
Or it looked like that it hit his knuckles.
Yeah, it might have hit off of his hand or his knuckles, as you said, but he was squaring the bunt. He showed bunt, and that is a strike.
And I'm guessing that's what the offense of the Chippewas is trying to do, try to extend their lead a little bit by implementing the small ball as he's squaring here again. And a pickoff attempt to first, and Runner at first gets in safely.
4-3, Ohio leading here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Squares the bunt again. This time he gets it down right back to Napshafer. Underhand flip to first base. He might have had a chance to go to second right there, but takes the sure out at first. Sacrifice bunt for Bryson Webb, and that'll bring Jacob Donahue to the plate with a runner in scoring position.
So that was a great job of executing the small ball play. Actually, that was a great job on both sides of the threshold of this matchup here today. But by the end, we want to see who's going to come out on top by the end of this game.
Jacob Donahue at the plate. Swings and flares one into shallow center field. Ansel coming on strong, and it's going to flare in. Jacob Donahue getting one off the handle. Just does find some green grass in the outfield. And the Chippewas threatening again. First and third with one man down. Heart of the order coming to the plate. 3, 4, 5. Wustenfeld, Verberg, and Murphy.
With only one out.
With only one out. Wustenfeld, 1 for 2 so far today. He singled his first time around. Spinning a throw back from Napshafer. He's really keeping a close eye on these runners over at first base. The Chippewas up over 40 stolen bases so far this season.
And they look to extend that on to their resume.
Another throwback. Jacob Donahue over at first base. He's got 5 stolen bases on the season.
And that is one thing about, matchup series. That's the difference between winning series.
Popped straight up on the infield, and it's going to be Cothran coming down with it. A big out number 2 right there.
Yes.
That keeps the runners put, more importantly. At the plate right there, you want to have a productive out. If you are going to get out, you want it to be productive.
Yes.
And Wustenfeld not able to do so right there. So big out number 2. Napshafer looking to strand a couple of runners out there. Spencer Verberg stepping up to the plate now.
And as I was saying before, that's the difference between winning series and sweeping series is good base running. Ooh, that looked like to hit him and takes him down on the inner part of the shin.
Yeah.
And I know that's painful.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked like Verberg hit the outside of the ball right there, went straight down to his shin, down to the ground immediately. Those sting. They hurt a lot.
Very.
Especially
in pain, too, and you don't have on a shin guard, too.
Oh, yeah. He's out there battling through the pain at the plate. No balls and 1 strike on him. Runners on the corners, 2 away. Napshafer looking to get out of a jam. But before that, he's going to check on Donahue once again.
And looking to strand some runners in and to kind of add on some more runs to the board, and see what your offense side of the ball can do.
Runner started from first, but then he decided to stop. Swing and a miss at the plate from Verberg, and that's going to make it a no-ball, 2-strike count. Donahue just trying to throw off Napshafer on the mound.
It looked like he had some steal and stop action there.
That pitch right on the outside corner, called strike 3. Tim Napshafer gets out of the jam. His 3rd strikeout of the ball game, strands 2 on the corners. We'll head to the 5th. Bobcats still leading 4-3. Top of the order for the Bobcats to get things going in the 5th. 1, 2, 3. Paulie Mancino, J.R. Nelson, and Gideon Ansel. And that first pitch into Mancino. His 3rd time at the plate this afternoon. He's 0 for 2. That one bounces. His last time around, bunted one back to the pitcher Botka on the mound. And Botka, with a rough throw to first base, it stayed in the dirt. Wustenfeld not able to dig it out. So he's charged with an error, and that goes down as an out in the score column for a hitter. So it negatively impacts the average, but Mancino still found his way on. He came around to score as well. Here's the pitch. That one stays upstairs. Runs the count to 3 balls and 1 strike to the Bobcats leadoff hitter.
And if I was the Chippewas defense, I would do anything I can to keep Mancino off of the bases.
Certainly a threat on the bases, and he's going to reach. They're not able to keep him off this time. Singles through the left side. That's his first hit of the ball game. He's 1 for 3 now. And some speed down there at first for the Bobcats. Brings up J.R. Nelson. Anytime you get your leadoff hitter on to start an inning, especially these Bobcats with the heart of their order coming up, the chances of scoring go up dramatically. JR looking to move Paulie over and even get himself on. He skies one foul on the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike.
And it looks like that he's taking advantage of trying to go to the right side, because if you take a look out there, you know, the wind kind of picked up again, and the flag is, well, you're able to see the whole square, or should I say rectangle of the flag that's out there. And that
now
is
Nelson into the gap in right center field. Going from first to third goes Mancino. A big turn at first from Nelson, but he's going to stay put there. Now runners on the corners with nobody down. A huge opportunity for the best hitter in this lineup, Gideon Ansel, coming to the plate. He had a 2-run double his last time around, looking to add to that number.
And if I was the Chippewas defense, this is the guy you really don't want to see.
This is the exact guy you want to see if you're the Bobcats, though.
Yes.
One of the best hitters, if not the best, in your lineup. Spinning a throwback keeps JR close. Nelson, so far on the season, 5 for 5 on stolen base attempts. See if he tries to move himself into scoring position. Stay out of that double play threat. The first pitch to Ansel, driven into the gap in left center field. It's going to drop, and it's going to roll to the wall. Coming around third, J.R. Nelson getting the wave. Ansel up to second easily. Nelson's going to score another 2-run double for Gideon Ansel. He is on fire.
Yes. Just the pure emotion, the excitement of executing the play with absolute dominance and authority. And if you're the Ohio Bobcats right now, you're excited to see who's also at the plate too, as A.J. Roush is another hitter that is very versatile to this Ohio offense.
A.J. Roush 0 for 2 so far today. Looks at strike 1 there. A good slider from Botka on the mound. The Bobcats lead at 6-3, thanks in part to two-run doubles from Gideon Ansel. Roush squares to bunt. That pitch in the dirt, good block right there from Stengren. Keeps it in front of him and keeps Ansel put at second.
And it's not a bad idea to lay down a bunt here too. I mean, there's no outs. You just had 2 scores. You have a very great runner at second base.
Well, this one on the ground to second, up with it cleanly on to first in time goes Henning. But Gideon Ansel moves up 90 feet, so a productive out nonetheless. Gets the same result as he would have had he laid down a bunt, had he laid down a sacrifice bunt, that is. But now the infield for Central Michigan going to come in here play just on that infield grass, try to do everything they can to keep Ansel from scoring. First pitch home to Bryce Smith, stays low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Smith is a very consistent hitter, and I wouldn't be surprised if he execute this right here.
And he drives one deep right field. That's going way back, and that's going way out of here. Right on cue. Bryce Smith drives it out of here, and the Bobcats have opened it up. It's 8-3.
Wow. Very well executed. And as I said before, you can see the whole rectangle of the flag. So that means that the wind is blowing to the right side. And for a lefty, that is a very amazing idea to yank the ball to the right side of the field. And Smith takes it out the yard. So there's only 1 out. And the Bobcats has scored so far, how many? 4, 3?
They have scored 4 runs in this inning, and it's going to warrant a mound visit here for the Chippewas. Doesn't look like we're getting a call to the bullpen just yet. The whole infield in on the mound, as is their pitching coach, but no motion from the bullpen yet. It has been a rough start on the mound for Keegan Baca. Through 4 innings and a third on the mound, he's given up 10 hits and 8 earned runs. 2 home runs in there as well from Cawthron and Bryce Smith. These Bobcats doing everything they can to salvage game 2 of this doubleheader. Bryce Smith on that home run right there. That was his first on the season. And now at the plate, Nick Dolan squares the bunt, pulls it back. Bryce Smith getting in on the party here in the 5th. Dolan at the plate, the 1-0. He skies that one way up into the air, but that's going to get out of play, foul.
Dolan is looking to add on to the damage that the Ohio Bobcats offense have done so far today.
The Bobcats have certainly kept Jacob Donahue on his toes out there in right field, driving the ball his direction time and time again today. That one stays outside. Nice block there from Stengren at the plate. Nobody on, though. Thanks in part to Bryce Smith's 2-run home run. Ohio at the plate so far in this one, 10 for 22, hitting at a .455 clip in game number 2. That'll get the job done, and Dolan drills one deep left center field, and it's going to hang up. That one looked a lot better off the bat than it ended up. I think that wind really pushed that one in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure a lot of you could tell by the fluctuation in my voice. I thought that one was out of here off the bat.
I mean,
it sounded good.
Yeah, the trajectory and everything looked really good. It's just that wind just took it right in.
Really kicking in. 25-mile-an-hour winds will do that to you. 2 away here in the top half of inning number 5. Now Jackson Cawthron stepping back up to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Solo home run back in the 2nd inning. He shoots one on the ground foul. Extremely hard hit. That one's rolling all the way down the right field line, nearly at the warning track. A member of the Central Michigan bullpen out to pick that one up. Baca trying to work out of this 5th inning. Cawthron leaves that one outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. He took a hefty cut at that one.
If I was him, I would take that same cut too. I mean, take advantage of where the wind is blowing at. You already had a bomb today, so why not add on to another one on the campaign.
It's called the high cheese right there. Blew it right past him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's just low in the dirt. Runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 4 runs across already in this inning for the Bobcats. Jackson Cawthron looking to extend it at least 1 at bat further. The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. The first walk on the afternoon for Keegan Botka. And that's going to keep the inning alive for Taylor Gill. Gill coming up to the plate 0 for 2 this afternoon, but a great time to turn that one around. Here with 2 away and a runner on. Cawthron with a really low stance leading off of first base. First pitch in there for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Bobcats in double digits in the hit column. You've got 10 of them. And now Gill pops one up. Straight up on the infield. Henning battling the sun. He'll make the grab. And that will end the top half of inning number 5. But the Bobcats get 4 and they extend their lead to 5. We'll head to the bottom half of the 5th. 8-3 Ohio. Five, six, 7 due up for the Chippewas here in the bottom of the 5th as they look to respond. Ohio got 4 across in the top half of the inning, extended their lead to 8-3. Mikey Murphy leads things off for Central Michigan. Looks at ball number 1 off the outside corner. Tim Knapschafer back out on the mound for Ohio. His 5th inning of work. His last time out against Kent State. He's only able to make it through 4 1/3. So looking to get a little deeper into this one. And that pitch stays outside as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Knapschafer seems to come out of the dugout with a little bit of bounce to his step now, as he's looking to put things away very quickly, with dominance, should I say.
He's got 4 innings under his belt in his previous 2 outings. This one, a slow roller up the first base line. It's going to go foul.
It's a very nice job there by Knapschafer, making sure that he missed the barrel of the bat. You know, as a pitcher, that's your number 1 job, is to not necessarily miss bats, but to also miss barrels.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how the Bobcats work their bullpen here in Game 2. Knapschafer, his pitch count only at 53. That one just off the inside corner, ball 4. So Mikey Murphy leads off the Chippewas' 5th with a walk. That'll bring up Drew Stengren Stengren's last time around, a 2 RBI single. But it'll be interesting to see how Ohio uses its bullpen here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. They still have one game yet to play here on the weekend, so got to be able to save some arms for tomorrow's affair with Central Michigan. And with just 60 pitches now, they just updated on us here on the scoreboard. Now 60 pitches through Nab Schaefer's outing. He's, I got to imagine, still got some left in the tank.
Yes.
But he has, I would say, struggled a little bit. He posted a scoreless frame back in the fourth in that last inning, coming off of a 3-run third. But he struggled with command in this one. 4 hit batters and a couple of walks now as well. Or excuse me, just 1 walk. He's got 3 strikeouts, though.
Well, yeah, it is pretty cold outside. You know, it's 46 degrees outside here with, with 24-mile-per-hour wind chill. So command can be quite difficult.
Absolutely. You gotta stay loose every second you can, especially when you're in that dugout. That one fouled back beyond the screen above our heads. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Stengren at the plate. As I said, when he came up to the plate, 1 hit, 2 RBIs so far in this one for him. And he's going to line that one into right center field as well. Mancino over to field it, trying to go first to third. The throw is going to be cut off by Nelson. Stengren with his second hit of the ball game, and the Chippewas threatening here in the 5th. It does look like the Bobcats do have some stirring going on in that bullpen down the left field line. No movement from the dugout, though. So Nap Schaefer going to be given the opportunity to work out of this jam here in the 5th. First pitch home, right up the middle. Nap Schaefer has it deflect off of his glove. Fields it, gets over to first in time. What a play by Tim Nap Schaefer, fielding his position outstandingly here today. That's the second time that he's had a comebacker that he's dealt with.
Yeah, and it looks like his hand there might be a little shaken up. I mean, I still don't know how in the world he even made a stop on that. You know, if it was me that was up there, I would have had to jump out the way.
Let your guys do all the work behind you. But that's big, too. It's worth noting that the runner over on third base, Mikey Murphy, had to stay put. That one runs in and gets the wrist of Jake Brill.
That looks very painful, too.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it looked to be like a swing attempt instead of more of like getting out of the way.
Yeah, he kind of started to go around initially. He did hold up, but that one appears to have him in a lot of discomfort.
And I would definitely take your time with that because
looks like Tim Brown out of the dugout for Ohio. He's going to pay a visit to Nap Schaefer on the mound. Brill going to give another hard 90. That's his second of the day.
I wonder if that's something that they do whenever, or that's something that's mandatory for them to do whenever they get hit.
Just gets the guys fired up in the dugout, kind of shake it off. Look, your wrist isn't going to impact you running. But Jake Brill, his second time hit by a pitch here today. That's the 5th time that Nap Schaefer has hit a batter this afternoon. And he has loaded the bases here in this 5th inning. The tying run stands on deck for the Chippewas. And they've got the top of the order on deck as well. Ellie Stewart stepping up to the plate right now. But Bryson Webb stands on deck. The big hitters in this lineup looking to do some damage and get themselves back into the ball game. The first pitch to Stewart, upstairs and away.
Yeah, so this could be a great opportunity for the defense here. You know, you miss a barrel, you can possibly get yourself, double play.
Oh, this one flared over towards the right side. ranging back and making the grab, Bryce Smith. Nice play right there from Smith.
And that looked to be like an awkward catch. I mean, it didn't look like that the runner from third had a chance of trying to tag up and sneak to try to get another score in for the Chippewas, and that's 2 away for the Bobcats defense.
For sure, big out right there. Once again, an unproductive out for Central Michigan, and good communication over on that right side of the infield from Billy Adams and Bryce Smith. Smith calling off Billy, who was ranging over. Looked like he was about to try to make that grab as well.
Yes.
A good communication, able to avoid colliding over there. Now the top of the order for Central Michigan, Bryson Webb at the plate, but he's down 0-2. Here quickly to Napshafer, trying to work out of yet another jam. 7 hits, 3 runs. The 0-2 outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A big moment in this ball game. Could go a long way towards deciding the fate of both of these teams. The 1-2 in the air, right field, slicing. It's going to get out of play, foul. Mancino hit the wall pretty hard down the right field line. Hat came flying off as he was looking up.
And I believe if that wall wasn't there, I believe 100% that Mancino can make that catch.
He's got some big-time range out there in right field.
Big-time speed.
If you look out to the outfield here, you'll notice that the outfielders are shifted to the right side on a right-handed bat. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Bryson Webb goes down swinging, and he leaves the bases loaded. Tim Napshafer able to work out of the jam, and we will head to the 6th. Ohio still leads at 8-3. Top half of the 6th inning, and we got a new pitcher on the mound for Central Michigan. Jared Hansen toes the rubber. An 8.03 ERA in 5 appearances on the season. He's got 12.1 innings pitched. And he has struggled quite a bit in his 5 appearances on the mound. He comes in looking to stop the bleeding. Marks the end of the day for Keegan Botka. Went 5 innings, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits. A rough outing for him, but now Hansen has a chance to keep his team within striking distance. I imagine they're going to ask him to eat up a couple innings here. This ball on the ground to third. A nice sliding stop sidearm throw.
Oh, my gosh.
In time. Ellie Stewart.
Wow, way to flash the leather over there.
What a nice play over there from him. Getting to his knees to keep that one in front of him and fielded it cleanly, got up quickly.
It made the throw.
Textbook right there. Sets down Billy Adams to start this 6th inning, and now the top of the order for the Bobcats, Paulie Mancino at the dish. He chops one foul behind him. Paulie, 2 for 3 so far today. He scored twice as well. Struck out back in the 1st inning.
You know, one thing I will say about Paulie Mancino, he's doing really good. Like, he's a freshman coming in and has caused some really good damage on the offensive side of the ball. As a matter of fact, you know, the freshman that has been recruited to Ohio, they really are a solid group.
They've got 2 freshmen in the 1-2 hole. Mancino pops one into right center field. Routine for Jacob Donahue, calling off the center fielder Jake Brill.
And it looks to be he was running to the dugout.
If you'll remember earlier in this one, Jake Brill ended the inning by catching one in right field. He came all the way over from his center field spot into a traditional right field spot, and Jacob Donahue just looked on and said, "All right, buddy, just go ahead and steal my out right there." This time, Donahue emphatically putting his hand up saying, "Stay away, this is mine." This is mine. 2 away here for the Bobcats at the plate. J.R. Nelson, the other freshman at the top of the order, squares to bunt, pulls back outside. Well, yeah, the 1-2 punches we were talking about, Paulie Mancino, J.R. Nelson, both freshmen, both at the top of the order for the Bobcats, doing some damage. J.R. Nelson got high praise from his teammates earlier in the season, especially I talked with Gideon Ansel last weekend, and Gideon said he's just kind of taken him under his wing as the season's gone on. He's one of the sharpest infielders that he's ever seen.
Yes.
That he's ever played with, I should say, and that is high praise coming from someone like Gideon who mans the outfield. JR going to step out of the box. Get some, looks like, is that pine tar on the bat right there?
I think so. Yeah, and it's also, you know, great to be a leader on the team, you know, and to have the feeling of taking someone under your wing as a little brother, you
Absolutely.
know, and especially like if they have like really good talent and bottomless potential. And that is one thing that I could definitely say about JR too. I mean, I've played with him, you know, maybe for a brief time span, but he's a very, very great player.
Well, this one chopped on the ground to short, up with it cleanly onto first base. Strong throw right there from Bryson Webb. Retires the side. So Hansen coming on here in the 6th. 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Can Central Michigan cut into the lead? A new arm out of the bullpen for the Bobcats here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It's Tyler Peck coming on to do some work against this Chippewa offense. So Tim Knapschafer's day is over. All things considered, an okay day when it comes to the amount of runs he gave up. He did struggle with the command, but he threw 5 innings, gave up just 3 runs, and now Tyler Peck brings a 9.53 ERA to the table. He's 1-0 on the season through 11 and a third innings pitched. His last time out against Kent State wasn't able to record an out. That's where a lot of that 9.53 ERA comes in. 3 runs last weekend against Kent State. He struggled, looking to bounce back here in this outing against Central Michigan. He's faced by Jacob Donahue to start the bottom half of the 6th here. And Donahue lifts one to right field. That drives Mancino over, but he makes a nice running catch on the warning track. Paulie Mancino showing off the range that we have talked about a lot here this afternoon.
He seemed to have made the wrong turn, but, you know, when you know how to work your hips the right way and have good range like Paulie Mancino, very successful and very nice catch out there from the right fielder.
That ball had some carry to it too, Ben. It was a lower line drive type of hit, and I thought that it was just going to be routine right field, but that backed Paulie up all the way to the warning track. Just shows really how hard this wind is kicking out there towards right field. If you get a little air under that ball, might just carry out of here. A line shot caught by J.R. Nelson at shortstop. Right place at the right time.
And we talk about that 1-2 punch, and both of the freshmen on the field seem to execute the plays.
Absolutely. They have a great presence at the plate and a great presence in the field. The first 2 outs going to Paulie and JR, and now that'll bring Spencer Verberg to the plate. He pops one out of play foul. It was Danny Wustenfeld lining out the shortstop right there. You can't hit a ball much harder than that. That's one of those where you just go back to the dugout and you're like, what else can I do? You can't really do anything else.
You did your job, so
hit the ball as hard as you can, just right at someone.
You know, and as somebody who has played, you know, it's better to have a loud out like that than it is for you to strike out.
That one stays upstairs out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Spencer Verberg, the designated hitter for the Chippewas. Peck looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Popped up. Cawthron ranging back. It's going to get out of play. Looks like it got up above us. I never saw that one come down.
I never heard that one come down either.
Nope.
You know, and that's part of what that wind is. And what you were saying before about the wind, you know, how it picks up very quickly like that. You know, you got to learn how to adjust and to adapt to the environment.
This one flared. That'll get out of play as well. So Verberg working a strong at-bat right here, making Peck work. A couple of quick outs to start the inning. Now a couple of pitches. He's having to battle here with Verberg. The 1-2 once again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tyler Peck coming on and gets the dugout fired up. A 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the later thirds of this one. Top of the 7th coming up. Bobcats still lead it 8-3. Top half of inning number 7 here from Bob Wren Stadium. We're in the later thirds of this one here. The Bobcats trying to wind things down and secure a Game 2 W. They dropped Game 1 6-1 here earlier this afternoon, trying to split the doubleheader and go into tomorrow with a chance to take the series against the Central Michigan team that has struggled coming into this one. 4-17 coming into today, so now 5-17 with the win earlier today. 2-5 in conference play, and that does include Game 1. And on the road, 5-14. And as I talked about earlier, they've only played 3 games at home. So most of their games here early coming on the road, and it makes sense. You get up into the middle of Michigan, it is still bitter cold up there. Nobody wants to play baseball this early in the year up there.
No way.
Gideon Ansel at the plate right now. He has been on fire here in Game 2. A pair of 2-run doubles for him in his previous 2 at-bats.
And he's looking to get some things started here for the offensive side of the Bobcats.
No balls, 2 strikes. That one stays outside. His 2 hits in this one have notched his 10th multi-hit game of the season. As we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, he carried a 17-game hitting streak into this afternoon. That one stays upstairs, drops the bat smartly. Doesn't want that one to hit off the back of his bat and be a foul tip or go into the field of play. But 2 balls, they absolutely will. 2 balls, 2 strikes. His hitting streak was snapped, but he has responded nicely. It's all about adjustments. And that one stays in the dirt. Ball 4.
The pitcher
I was gonna say the scoreboard said 2-2. I had 2-2. Ansel was on his way down to first base. The umpire said, "You got to come back here. That's only ball 3." Not getting away that easily. So Ansel will step back up to the plate. Maybe seeing one more pitch, he might be able to drive one into the outfield, get himself on with a base hit. We'll see. Here's the 3-2. And he lines one into right field, base hit. So he's able to do just that. Oh, he's going to try for 2. The throw in.
Safely.
Safe.
Wow.
Gideon Ansel, his 3rd double of the ball game. He stretched that one from a single to a double, tested the right fielder, Jacob Donahue. That's called aggressive base running right there, setting the Bobcats up in the heart of the order to get another run across.
Wow. And he was really hustling, too. I mean, like, as soon as he had turned his head to right field and was like, let me see what the right fielder is doing, he just took off.
He had double on his mind out of the box. And that'll bring up A.J. Rouse to the plate. 0 for 3 so far in this one.
Well, they have been productive at bats from A.J. Roush. I mean, he was able to successfully move some runners across.
He's going to square a bunt right here. Third baseman coming on strong. He's able to make the throw in time for out number 1, Ellie Stewart on the play right there. But like you said, a productive out. Once again, a sacrifice bunt. 5-3 on the putout, but that moves Gideon Ansel up and over to third base. And now Bryce Smith stepping up to the plate. He hit a 2-run home run his last time around.
And if you're the Bobcats, this is a guy that you want to see. You know, you have Ansel at third.
Swinging a hot bat at the plate. The Chippewa defense, their infield playing in once again, trying to keep this at a 5-run deficit. Last time they played in on Bryce Smith, right over the right field wall.
And it wasn't even close either. There was a no-doubter.
He drilled it. He drilled it.
Oh, yeah, that was a missile. And we're looking to see what Smith can do for the Bobcat offense here.
The pitch is drilled into left center field, ranging over the left fielder Murphy. Tagging from third, coming home is Gideon Ansel, and he will slide in safely.
Slide in a pop-up.
He bumps the umpire.
And he seemed to have some dialogue with the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Not sure what that was all about, but he slid in, popped up quickly, said some words to the Chippewa dugout, and then accidentally bumped into the home plate umpire. But a sac fly RBI nonetheless, outside of all the extracurriculars. Bryce Smith with his 4th RBI of the ball game. And it's 9-3 Ohio. Gideon was still talking on his way back to the dugout. I saw him turn around, still have some more words. I don't know if he was apologizing to the umpire for accidentally bumping into him or if he was talking back to the Chippewas. But now squaring to bunt Nick Dolan. He pulls back. That pitch stays high, 1-0. I love the chippiness in baseball. I love it. I live for it. Play with some passion.
Yes. It just makes the game so much more exciting. And speaking of exciting, Nick Dolan has a base hit single.
Right into Leonard Field. Right into left field. I don't know where Leonard came from. Right into left field. A shot off the bat of Nick Dolan. Keeps the inning alive here for the Bobcats with 2 men down. That'll bring up Jackson Cawthron. He homered himself earlier in this one.
The Bobcats is looking to extend their lead.
Cawthron swings and misses at that first pitch. Or I guess he tipped it because the catcher Stengren making no motion to get back there and retrieve that ball. So foul tip right there from Cawthron.
Those very quick hands, too.
We're in the top half of the 7th from Bob Wren Stadium. The Bobcats lead it 9-3 with 2 men down. They've scratched 1 across here in this half inning. Gideon Ansel led off. He thought he had drawn a walk. It was only ball 3. He comes back and drills a double. He stretched a single into a double. Now check swing on the ground. This is going to be a tough play. Stewart over, fields it on to first. Not in time. Jackson Cawthron, a check swing that he makes contact with, but it ends up working out for him. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Bobcats. That keeps the inning alive for Taylor Gill.
Wow. So I guess, you can call that a bunt hit.
Hey, another swinging bunt. Regardless of what you want to call it, an infield single is what it'll go down as. Cawthron with his 2nd hit of the ball game, his 3rd time on base. A home run, a single, and a walk for him. And now Taylor Gill, who's 0 for 3 at the plate. He grounded out back in his first plate appearance, and his last 2 times around has popped out. That pitch stays way inside.
Dangerously inside.
Not even flinching. Just a statue at the plate is Taylor Gill. Billy Adams waits on deck before we flip the lineup over once again for the Bobcats. And this one popped in the air once again. Coming on strong is Stewart. But that one going to get out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
So Gill's looking to do some things, do some damage here for the Ohio Bobcat offense here. Let's see what he does.
Absolutely. 2-out hitting, 2-strike hitting. Got to protect anything close. The 1-2 on the ground through the right side, base hit. Getting the way from third, coming around to score is Dolan. Up to third goes the trail runner, and Taylor Gill with a 2-out RBI single, and the Bobcats have entered double digits. They lead it 10-3.
And they also have 14 hits on the day, too. And the Chippewas have half of their hits here on this matchup here today.
The Bats have come alive here in Game 2. Just 3 hits in Game 1 for the Bobcats, and now 14, as you said, Ben, here in Game number 2. A spin and a throw back keeps Gill close.
And for some 45-degree weather where the sun seems to be kind of setting a little bit, where it's cold, the bats are pretty hot for the Cardiac Cats.
The Bats are keeping them hot.
Way to have some momentum.
And now Billy Adams at the plate. Looks at a strike right there, trying to keep the rally going.
And one thing about Billy, wouldn't be surprised if he keeps the rally going. As a matter of fact, he was the one that started the rally.
He singled to first base his first time around. Or not first base, he reached first base. He singled to right field his first time around, right over the second baseman Henning's head. Now he works with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And he looks at that one just off the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to the 9-hole hitter here in the Bobcats order. 1 for 3 on the afternoon. He's also scored. Here's the 2-1. Outside again. 3-1, and Jared Hansen in danger of loading the bases for the leadoff hitter in the order, Paulie Mancino. You do not want to extend this inning any more than he has on the mound. A 3-1. Shot into right field. That's down the line, base hit. 1 run is going to score. Getting the wave around third is Gill. Now he's going to get the stop sign, and he blows right through it. Coming to the place, head first, dive in safely. A bobble on the transfer from the cutoff man, Taylor Gill. Noticing it right away, takes off right through the stop sign.
Wow.
And the Bobcats tack on 2 more. They lead by 9. 12-3 on a 2-out, 2 RBI double from Billy Adams, the bottom of the order, getting it done.
And that is one thing that hitting coach Kirby McGuire really implements. We need every guy from 1 through 9. You can't just depend on just one person. You have to depend on everybody 1 through 9.
So now Paulie Mancino, the traditional leadoff guy here in the Bobcats order, getting a chance to keep this rally going. 4 runs already across in the inning. And Mancino looks at that one off the outside corner.
And the Ohio Bobcat offense has really execute, and their reputation really is the hitting side of the baseball.
And that pitch right on the outside corner, painting the black. Right there is Jared Hansen. 2-out, 2 RBI doubles seem to be a theme for the Bobcats here today.
Yes.
Ansel has 2, and now Gill has 1 himself. Now Paulie down the left field line. That hook's foul. He scorched that one, but just got a little out in front of it. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away. Here in the top of the 7th, Taylor Gill stands on second after a 2 RBI double down the right field line. Or I apologize, Billy Adams stands on second. Here's the pitch to Paulie. That one stays outside. Runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
He's looking to add on possibly another run for the Bobcats, or 2 if he hits a bomb.
He'd certainly take that. The 3-2
Oh my
lifted in the
goodness.
air down the right field line. It's gonna slice foul. You almost got your prediction in for the day right there.
Sure did.
Would have had to take your talents to the casino after that one.
But fortunately, I'm not a gambling man. So
There you go. There you go.
if I was, I'd definitely bet on this team every time.
There you go. 3-2 upstairs, ball 4. And the inning will continue for J.R. Nelson. Paulie Mancino with a great at-bat right there. Able to work the full count walk. And it looks like we're going to at least get a mound visit. Looks like that's all it's going to be. No pitching change. You see at the bottom of your screen right now, Gideon Ansel is back on deck. He just scored a couple of minutes ago, but he came right up to the home plate umpire. Gotta imagine he was apologizing after bumping into him. Good sportsmanship right there from Gideon.
You know, one thing about Gideon Ansel, man, when it comes to his competitive side, it is, woo!
No topping it.
Yeah, there is no topping it, man. I absolutely loved, playing with him. He's definitely been a great leader for this Ohio Bobcat baseball team here. If I'm not mistaken, he was a junior college player before he
He
had
was.
transferred in.
That is what he told us about a week and a half ago that he transferred in here from a JUCO school
Yeah, and
closer to where he's from.
yeah, and typically, with JUCO players, they tend to have more of a passionate drive towards their game. Considering the fact of the type of adversity that they have to face, and then they take that on to the next level in life beyond.
Well, that drive from Gideon here in this one has him with 4 RBIs, and now down the right field line, that ball's fair. J.R. Nelson, it rolls to the wall. He's going to have himself a 2-out, 2 RBI double as well.
Oh, my goodness.
The Bobcats are tacking
Wow.
on. Insurance on top of insurance here in the 7th. 6 runs have come across, and it's 14-3.
I guess you can call it the cardiac cats.
The Cardiac
The
Cats.
cardiac cats insurance. I guess you can call it that.
They have had their way here in this one, and that's going to mark an end of the road for Jared Hansen. He couldn't get out of the 7th inning. We will step aside and be back with information on the bullpen guy for the Chippewas. Bobcats still batting with 2 away. We'll be back. Jonah Milchuk, the new pitcher out of the bullpen for the Chippewas. He's coming in his 8th appearance on the season. No decisions yet for him through 11 innings pitched. He's got a 12.27 ERA, and he's going to be tasked with getting out of this seemingly endless inning for the Bobcats, and Gideon Antle stepping up to the plate to be the first to greet him. Fouls that one back in off the hands. No balls, 1 strike.
You definitely don't want Ansel to greet you. So Gideon is looking to add on to this, what we call the cardiac cat insurance.
And he pops this one in the air. That
Looks like
one's
to get out
going
of
to,
play.
get out of play, foul off the little hill out there in foul territory. Well, Gideon Ansel batted earlier in this inning, and he had himself a double Looked like it was going to be a single off the bat, but he stretched it into a double, beat the throw from Donahue and right. Yeah, he fouls that one back to the screen.
Yeah,
he's making contact.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not looking to walk. He's looking to add on to that, and what a way to respond, breaking your 17-game hitting streak and just bouncing back with dominance and authority.
Checks his swing, did not go, stays low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got 3 doubles so far this afternoon.
Wow.
Just on an absolute tear. 4 RBIs for him. He's up to 28 total on the season. That one stays outside. Good eye at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and a runner on second base for the Bobcats.
And this was all in just within 1 game that he had 3 doubles. Wow.
The 2-2. Chopped on the ground, foul. Watch out over there in the dugout. That one hit off the top railing.
How many pitches did he just see just now?
He fouled the first 3 off and 1 more right there with 2 balls as well. So he's seen 6 pitches in this at-bat. Here's number 7. Low and away. Runs the count full. A good at-bat here from Ansel. From 0-2 to 3-2. Trying to keep the inning alive for A.J. Roush at the plate. The 3-2. Up the middle. Base hit. Getting the wave around third. Here comes Nelson. He's going to score easily. Gideon Ansel, have yourself a day, young man. 4 hits.
Wow.
No, 5 hits. He's got a 5-hit day. He singled early on in the ball game, a bunt single, followed it up with 3 doubles, and now another single. He has 5 hits. And another RBI right there, his 5th RBI on the day. A whole lot of 5s for Gideon.
Wow.
And they lead 15-3. A.J. Roush, he lines one up the middle. That's slicing, and it's going to get down off the wall on a hop. Ansel's getting the wave around third. The throw's going to come home. It's not going to be in time. Ansel slides in safely, and the bleeding continues.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
A.J. Roush, an RBI double, and it's 16-3.
Wow.
These Bobcats do not have an off button here this afternoon.
And that's all what comes with the Cardiac Cat insurance. Once it comes on, it does not shut off.
We got to start a company now. The Cardiac Cat Insurance. Now at the plate, Bryce Smith. He had a sac fly RBI his last time around. Hit Gideon Ansel in earlier in this inning. So now he's looking to hit A.J. Roush in. And he lines one through the right side. That's a base hit. He's going to do just that. No throw to the plate. Another RBI single for the Bobcats. It is 17-3. And no, we're not playing football. The Bobcats are up by 2 touchdowns here in the 7th inning. It has just been a painful top half of the 7th for the Chippewas. Boy, oh boy, what an inning. Nick Dolan at the plate. He looks at a called strike. Looked like a little generous of a call right there. Appeared below the knees, but Milchuk got the call. Smith leads off of first. 9 runs across here in this half inning for the Bobcats. Dolan looks at another one that appeared a little low, but he got the call again on the mound, did Milchuk. No balls and 2 strikes.
Those look to be sliders that he was throwing.
And that one a little more convincing. It bounces. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Dolan. Singled his last time around. That was that line drive into left field. Looking to add on to that. And he might just do so. A high drive into left field, but no, it's going to hold up. Under it and Squeezing it for out number 3 is Mikey Murphy, but not before 9 Bobcats come around to score in the inning. They extend their lead to 14. It's 17-3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom half of the 7th inning finally upon us. It feels like the Bobcats have been batting forever. A 9-run top half of the 7th inning. And the first pitch that Peck throws is drilled into right field. Mikey Murphy trying to get into second base, and he will. A stand-up double to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. So if nothing else here this afternoon, Mikey Murphy can take that hit with him and build some momentum for himself. That'll bring up Drew Stengren now. Stengren on the day has 2 hits and 2 RBIs. He lifts this one into center field. That's going to hang up for Ansel. Camped under it. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Gets it back in quickly.
It looked like the runner at second didn't even bother to tag.
Gansel has such a strong arm out there.
I wouldn't run on him.
In center field, and that's a routine fly ball too. It would be silly to test the arm of anybody from that range, for that matter, especially with nobody down. But now first pitch on the ground to third. Dolan stumbled a little bit, regathered himself, and fired a strike to first base.
Wow. I don't know what exactly he stumbled over, but that was still an amazing play. You know, ranging over to his left, spinning around and making the throw, causing the second out for the Chippewas, and
it almost looked like at first he wanted to go down and like slide to stop that one, but then he realized it stayed a little too high. He started to go down and then realized he had to stay up. Made it look a little awkward. Just glad he didn't injure himself on that one. This pitch popped way up on the infield. Smith is under it, and that's going to be a quick inning for Tyler Peck. A first pitch double off the bat of Mikey Murphy, and then after that, just a few pitches and 3 outs. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning here from Bob Wren Stadium. The Bobcats lead it 17-3. Top of the 8th inning, the Bobcats coming off a 9-run 7th inning. And we got our sideline reporter, Ellie Metzler, rejoining us. Ellie, what'd you see down there in that top of the 7th inning?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the players were really fired up after that, like you said, 9-run inning. That was huge for the Bobcats to get back into this game. I heard Gideon Antle tell Paulie Mancino that his hit, that pitch, he just saw come tumbling toward him. So he was really good about making decisions on the fly. Gideon has been seen to be a very passionate player. And this isn't the first time this season we've seen him get fired up about a game. So you can tell how into it he is.
Well, absolutely. It has been a very strong game for the Bobcats at the plate. Thank you so much, Ellie, for your continued hard work down there on the side. There's one away here in the top of the 8th inning. It has certainly been an afternoon of adjustments, as Ellie talked about. These Bobcats making adjustments here in Game 2. Good enough for 17 runs, and they're not done yet. They still have 5 outs to work with now after Cawthron flew out to center field to lead off this 8th inning. Now Taylor Gill at the plate, and he's going to chip one over to the left side. Nice backpedaling play right there from the third baseman, Ellie Stewart. 2 away now here in the top half of the 8th inning. Billy Adams will step up to the plate now. It's a new pitcher for the Chippewas, Jack Bach, in the game. He has their highest ERA on the pitching staff, but he's only pitched 2 innings on the season so far, and even 36 earned run average. He gave up 8 runs over 2 innings of work. So inflated numbers for sure, but he did struggle his first 2 innings. He has appeared in 4 games, though, so he has really struggled to get through those 2 innings of work.
And we look to see what Billy Adams is going to do to try to add on to this outstanding lead that they have over the Chippewas here. 17 runs to 3.
Looking to scratch across that 20th hit of the ball game as well. The Bobcats with 19.
And Billy Adams is a really consistent hitter, too. I mean, he really knows how to, see the ball in and drive it to the opposite field. And as I previously stated before, in this game, that as a baseball player, it's really good to see on the offensive side, most of the damage coming from the right side.
Absolutely. Billy looks at that one on the inside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count with 2 men down here in the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the order here for the Bobcats. Jack Bach looking for his first scoreless frame of the year. And he's going to have to wait at least one more batter for that. Ball 4 to Billy Adams, and that will flip the lineup over again. Here comes Paulie Mancino. Billy Adams standing over at first base. He's got 2 hits in this one. That his first walk. And now Paulie Mancino batting for the 6th time today. He's reached 3 out of his 5 plate appearances, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 runs scored for him. Works with a no ball, 1 strike count. That one swung on and missed. A nice slider right there from Bach. Had Mancino waving at it, wasn't able to get the bat head out to it.
Yeah, it looks like that he has a very, effective slider.
And Mancino waves at it again. Got him to chase on the slider. A scoreless frame for Jack Bach. That'll get the ERA down a little bit for him. We'll head to the bottom half of inning number 8. Chippewas still trailing 17-3. We'll see if they can get any back. Well, it's fest season at OU this weekend, and we have a hitting fest for the Bobcats. 19 hits on 17 runs. They have it going here this afternoon. They lead it 17-3. And Tyler Peck, still on the mound for the Bobcats, gets a swing and miss from Ellie Stewart to lead things off. Bottom half of inning number 8. That pitch stays low, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
In the 7th inning, they had an absolute barrel fest.
Absolutely.
Here at the rent today.
Absolutely.
This afternoon.
That's a good one.
It may be chilly, but I'll tell you one thing, though. That cardiac cat insurance, it make you nice and hot for you.
The bats are staying hot after a slower game 1. Back on track here in game 2. These Bobcats suffered back-to-back losses earlier this week. Obviously, they dropped game 3 to Kent State 22-4, and then they followed that up losing at Northern Kentucky. But this ball is driven deep into the gap. That one's going to get back, and it's going to one-hop off the wall. Ellie Stewart going to coast into second base with a stand-up double. A nice opposite field gap shot from him.
That was beautiful. I mean, just out there like where nobody is at. You have 2 speedsters that are out there in the outfield that can't really get to the ball because it's literally in the no man's land of the ballpark. You know, gap-to-gap approach is very necessary.
Well, a great start to this inning for Central Michigan. As I was talking about, Ohio dropped game 3 to Kent State 22-4, and they followed that up losing at Northern Kentucky on Tuesday 18-13. One of those midweek games that this one flared into right field. Mancino coming in on it. He'll make the catch, tagging from second, and moving up to third base goes Stewart. So a productive out for Bryson Webb right there. But that's one of those midweek games. You tend to see a lot higher scoring games on those Tuesday or whenever it may be, those midweek games. You get some of those pitchers in that maybe not have as much experience. You got those one game set outside of your conference. You try to save your higher end pitchers for these weekend conference series, but the Bobcats have had a lot of high scoring midweek series.
They really did. If I'm not mistaken, they had one against Youngstown where there was a total on both sides of the threshold, 40 runs. I thought that was wild to hear. I was like, what?
If we're just running through the lines on these midweek games, obviously an NKU 18-13 game a week and a half ago against Morehead State, a 20-10 game that the Bobcats fell in, and then I believe it was the week before that. Yes, it was the week before that the Bobcats played Youngstown State, where they came back down 12 in that game to win 21-19.
I tell you one thing about this Bobcat offense. When they say that hitting is contagious, it's not a disease, it's a cure. In this case, it's a disease when you're on the off or the defense, excuse me.
Absolutely. Well, they had their hitting shoes on that day. They do not stop until that final out is recorded. They battled their way to a victory in that one, trying to even up the series here in this one at 1 apiece. And that one runs in and drills the back of Jacob Donahue. So he will head his way down to first base, his second time on base here this afternoon. And now there's runners on the corners with 1 away. Tyler Peck tasked with working out of a jam. Looks like the bullpen relatively quiet down the left field line for the Bobcats right now. First pitch into Wustenfeld is called a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The Bobcats got on the board first with a Jackson Cothran solo home run, and they followed that up with 3 runs in the 3rd inning. But Central Michigan responded well in that 3rd inning as well. They got it back to a 4-3 ball game, and ever since then, it's been all Bobcats. 13 unanswered put on the board. This one fouled out of play by Wustenfeld. They scored 4 times in the 5th inning and 9 times in the 7th inning. Central Michigan looking to get back on the board for the first time since their 3rd inning at the plate. Here's the pitch home. That one stays upstairs, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's Donahue leading off of first base and Stewart off of third. Stewart led this inning off with a double. This one flared to Nelson. He's going to catch it on the fly, throw back to first, and they doubled him up.
Oh, my goodness.
Tyler
J.R.
Peck
Nelson
gets out of a jam thanks in part to his smooth-gloved shortstop, J.R. Nelson. We will head to the 9th. OU still leads 17-3. Top half of inning number 9. The Bobcats have had their way in this one, and they look to cap it in their last at-bat with an exclamation mark. 3 runs away from that 20 mark, and they've got 2, 3, 4 coming up here in the order. Bach still on the mound for the Chippewas, his 2nd inning of work. He got through that 8th inning scoreless. Did surrender a walk, but he had a strikeout in there as well. No hits, no runs. Looking to back that up here with a scoreless 9th inning as well. He came into this one struggling, as I talked about, in that 8th inning. Just 2 innings pitched on the season with 8 earned runs. Good for a 36 ERA. And now, obviously, 3 innings pitched on the season, so that number will drop a little bit. Here's the 2-1 to Nelson. This one off the end of the bat, and it's going to find a glove. Nice play out there from Elijah Henning.
That was also a nice hit by J.R. Nelson, too.
To his knees to make that grab. Nelson flailed the bat out there right off the end of the bat. Got a good piece of metal on it, but it just found the glove of Henning, and there's one away.
So now up to the plate now is number 10, Ben Slanker. Ben Slanker is a freshman, and he has very tremendous power.
So Sliker getting the pinch hit opportunity, looks at that first pitch for a called strike. Good call right there, Ben. I didn't notice that right away.
Well, that's why I'm here.
There you go. That's why I got my second-hand man, Ben Slanker. This will be his 2nd at-bat of the season. Or I apologize. His 1st at-bat of the season. He does not have an at-bat yet. He has scored once, though. So it looks like he may have came in as
Pinch.
either a pinch runner. No, he was walked in his only plate appearance, and that does not go down as an at bat. So he walked and came around to score in his one appearance, and he gets a single here. Ben Slanker, his first hit of the season. Gonna have to keep that baseball.
Gonna have to. I mean, that's his first hit of his career, if I'm not mistaken, here at Ohio. It was a nice, sharply hit ball to the right side. I mean, and as I said before, Ben Slanker has tremendous power, and he's only just a freshman, so he has, very good upside potential. And now up to the plate now is A.J. Roush.
A.J. Roush, first pitch swinging, fouls it back. I looked down at the third base dugout for OU. They were all lobbying for that baseball back, trying to get it back from Bach on the mound. He never really noticed.
Yeah, Ben Slanker, he deserves that ball.
But Roush just found that one back, and somebody from that OU dugout ran out and grabbed it, so they do have the ball back in their possession for him. No balls and 2 strikes quickly here on Roush. 1 away here in the top of the 9th. OU leading by a ton. 17-3. Roush sits back on that one, drills it to right field. Donahue not going to get there. That drops fair. One hops the wall. Slanker around second. He's going to get the stop sign at third. A.J. Roush almost lapped him coming around second base, but Slanker, smart base running, had to wait and make sure that it dropped, so that's why he got a late break there. So now runners on second and third with 1 away here for the Bobcats.
And it looks to be now that up to bat is Wes Lugg.
Yep, Wes Lugg, another pinch hitter for the Bobcats here in this 9th inning. He's going to replace Bryce Smith. So Wes coming into the ball game. He's appeared in 10 ball games so far. He's got 27 at-bats with a 185 batting average. Looks at that first pitch fastball right down Broadway. No balls and 1 strike on the Bobcats pinch hitter. And this one flared up the middle, ranging to his right, fields it cleanly onto first in time, but an RBI ground out for Wes Lugg. That plates Ben Slanker, and now Ben's only 2 times that he's batted, he's scored.
He's got a hit, he's scored.
He's got a hit in this one. He's obviously just came around to score, and then his other at-bat as well.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to give him some more opportunities.
Came around and scored in that one. So now Nick Dolan at the plate. He looks at that pitch off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. That RBI for Wes, his second on the season, pushes the lead up to 15 for the Bobcats. It's 18-3. And now Dolan lifts one into center field, battling the sun out there. Jake Brill makes the grab, and that ends the frame. Well, the Bobcats tack on 1 here in the 9th inning. They carry a 15-run lead into the bottom half of the 9th. 3 outs to go. Stick with us to the end here on Bobcat TV. Ben Slanker remains in the game. He takes over the right field position after his first base hit of the season. Came around to score the 18th run of the ball game for Ohio. A great feeling for him. Paulie Mancino moves over to center field, and Paulie might have an opportunity here. Coming on, and he does. He'll make the grab. One away here in the bottom of inning number 9. Tyler Peck still out there on the mound for the Bobcats. And that was a pinch hitter right there for Central Michigan. Campow at the plate for them right there. Carter Campow came into today with a .333 batting average, but flew out in his opportunity right there. First pitch home now to Mikey Murphy. Fouled out of play, 0-1.
Yeah, so Bryce Smith is done at first base, and taking over the position now is Wes Lugg. And Gideon Ansel is done out there in center field, as that ball was dangerously close. It looked like it nearly hit him. And Paulie is taking over, or should I say Paulie Mancino is taking over center field.
A.J. Roush still out there in left field. No other changes for the Bobcats outside of
just those 4.
First base, Wes Lugg replacing Bryce Smith. Right field, Ben Slanker. I guess technically replacing Gideon Ansel because you have Paulie Mancino moving from right to center field. That pitch stays outside, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and it's good. Yeah, and it's a good idea, to kind of get, like your younger guys.
There's a called strike 3. I apologize for interrupting you there, Ben, but the Chippewas are down to their final outs. A called strike 3. Tyler Peck had the slider working there.
Yeah, that was worth the interruption, too. That's exciting to see whenever you're on the side of the Bobcats.
So now Drew Stengren will step to the plate. He's had a successful afternoon at the plate, 2 for 4 for him, a couple of RBIs. Trying not to be the final out. Looks at that first pitch off the outside corner, 1-0. With the win here this afternoon, the Bobcats will improve to 8-12 overall on the season. And they will get back to 500 in conference play at 4-4. Just 1 out to go until that becomes official. There's a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Drew Stengren. And that one just off the inside corner, 3-1. Tyler Peck behind in the count. A hitter's count for Drew Stengren at the plate. The catcher for the Chippewas. Here's the 3-1. And that's upstairs, ball 4. So we'll have to wait a couple extra minutes to wrap this one up. Stengren reaches on the base on balls.
Pinch hitting for the Chippewas, number 10, Drew Loikitz.
And now we'll get another pinch hitter for the Chippewas here. It's going to be number 10, Drew Loikitz. He has struggled so far this season. This will be his 8th game that he's appeared in. And he has batted 14 times at the plate, an .071 batting average. And he drills this one to left field. That's high in the air, ranging Roush back. But he's camped under it, and that'll do it.
Wow.
The Bobcats take Game 2 in dramatic fashion, overcoming the Chippewas by a final score of 18-3. Some final line scores for you for the Bobcats. I should say the visiting Bobcats. 18 runs, 21 hits, and no errors. We talked about that earlier. The defensive adjustments have been huge for the Bobcats in their last few series. Another game with no errors here. And for Central Michigan, 3 runs on 9 hits and 1 error. Ohio improves to 8-12 on the season, 4-4 in conference play. Central Michigan drops to 5-18 and 2-6 in conference play. Game 3 of this 3-game set coming up tomorrow afternoon. The Bobcats will look to take the series on their home field as the visiting team. Ben, any final thoughts this afternoon?
It's very exciting to see, my former team, come through like that in, very dramatic fashion, and as I said, in the beginning of the game, when you can execute the small game and execute, plays and stuff like that, you'll really turn out to have a really big win, and that's exactly what the Ohio Bobcats just did.
Well, they had great execution all game long in that second game of the doubleheader. Your winning pitcher, Tim Knapschafer, the starter for the Bobcats. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He threw 70 pitches on the afternoon. And for the Chippewas, Keegan Baca takes the loss here. 5 innings pitched for him, 10 hits, 8 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He gave up 4 extra base hits as well, a pair of doubles and a pair of home runs. He threw 63 pitches. Tomorrow afternoon, right back here on Ohio Bobcat TV. First pitch is set for 1 p.m. We'll hope to see you here on Ohio Bobcat TV. For myself, Daniel Barnard, my partner Ben Hamilton, and our sideline reporter Ellie Metzler, and the rest of our outstanding crew here on this chilly Saturday afternoon, we say thank you so much for listening and have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.